This plant is Lavandula dentata, French lavender, and it's a fairly popular plant, perennial, woody perennial that is probably what I'd call shorter lived. For it to look its best is probably 3 to 5 years, and then after that, like many lavenders, I am planning to replace it. The group you see right here were in my yard for about 5 or 6 years, and because of the higher maintenance, I finally removed it. The flowers you're looking at right here, you can see that there's half dead flowers and half new ones. That's really the challenge with this plant. I don't mean to just jump into it, but let's do that. The flowers are continuous, so what happens is if you don't come in and deadhead this at some point, the new flowers will just grow right over the top of the old ones, and then you get this mix that you see in all of these photographs where there's dead and fresh flowers all the time, making the plant appear dirty to my eye. So the size of the plant is typically 3 to 6 feet wide. It sprawls out quite a bit and maybe 18 to 30 inches high. These like full sun to bloom their best. Deer leave them alone, so they're a good deer resistant plant, and they are drought resistant. Pretty easy to establish on low water, although they do tolerate more garden water if you want to mix them with plants that need that. So they can establish well on drip irrigation, and that's a big plus for this plant. If you're going to give them regular garden water, just make sure they're in well-drained soil or maybe on a slope, just so that they don't end up with wet feet. Lavenders in general do not like heavy soils unless they can have some drainage, so they prefer well-drained soils with low to moderate water once they're established. In design, I like to combine these. You saw an earlier picture with Loropetalum Plum Delight. I like to do foliage color plays. Also, these are pretty good with different penstemons, so that's a nice combination with a Huntington pink or some of the other nice colors that can work with. Also, these look great with a white ground cover rose or a rose iceberg. So those are some ideas in terms of plant combinations. Overall, as a design element, I would just say the biggest challenge is this is very high maintenance as a plant, and most of our clients don't want high maintenance plants, and most maintenance companies don't know how to take care of a plant like this, and timing is everything. Even if they know what they're doing, this is a bit of a challenge. So I think there's better choices to accomplish a lot of the same things, and I would tend to use a different plant than this most of the time. I've tried this in a pot, I've tried it in my landscape, and it's always become too much work for me. So as a design element, I'm going to discourage you on this one. But if you decide to use it, just know that maintaining it is the key to it looking good, and then feel free to cut it back when you get some of these dead pockets. It does tend to regenerate better than other lavenders in my experience, and it does have the added benefit of being deer resistant and kind of tolerant of some different conditions and low water. So if you use it, good luck with that. It's a nice plant, just a little too bloomy for its own good. And that is Lavandula dentata, French lavender.